All right, Jacob, JPS. How you going, mate? How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. How are you?
I'm very good, mate. I'm very good. I was just telling you that as soon as I saw the Physique conference, the advertising on socials pop up, I thought I got to get Jacob on and have a chat because, as I just mentioned to you, the UEBC, the first one that I went to was just it was groundbreaking. It was awesome to have so many evidence-based minds in the one room over 3 days. It literally changed my career in terms of my knowledge and education. So I'm going to assume this one is obviously going to be very, very similar in terms of format, but a lot of new guests. So it's pretty exciting, right?
Very exciting. We've got 2 days lined up of jam-packed presentations. We've got some pretty cool presenters coming down, which I'm sure we'll cover. But yeah, looking forward to bringing together some of the best minds in the physique sports game, and having plenty of attendees. Looking to raise the standard of their education as it relates to coaching physique competitors. So it
Yeah.
should be a good weekend.
Outstanding, mate. Outstanding. Well, take us back. Look, for those that don't know, do you mind going back to where it all started for you individually, and then obviously the foundation and the growth of JPS?
Yeah, so my backstory, I guess, is pretty similar to most personal trainers.
Hmm.
I started, freelancing as a subcontractor at a big box gym. Um, I was 18, so fresh out of high school, got my Cert 3 and 4. I was in pretty good shape myself. And a lot of people were asking me for programs and things like that. So I actually started writing programs before I was even qualified. People would ask me what I was doing, so I'd write on a piece of cardboard, like those cardboard program
Yeah.
templates that the gyms would give out. And I was doing so many of them that I was like, I'm not doing this for free anymore. So I started charging $20. Um, so started charging $20 for those, did my certs, and started doing some PT.
Yeah.
Um, Pretty quickly became booked out because I was also studying law full time.
Yeah. Right.
So I didn't have a lot of time. I was working a few other jobs as well. Then my brother came on board. One of my best mates also came on board. So the three of us were all subcontracting at the same gym under JPS, and things took off from there. Within a couple of years, we got our own facility, got more trainers on board, and things escalated pretty quickly to the point where we're getting noise complaints, we're getting council rocking up because we're breaching our permit for occupancy. It was just jam packed in this little studio that we had,
Yeah. Right.
and we, sold my house and bought the facility that we're in now, and things sort of took off from there. And then I guess from that point, the gym was absolutely pumping. The personal training side of things was, busier than ever. And I saw that there was a huge need and demand for education. So, because
Yeah.
I had a lot of coaches coming to me wanting education. So I started with a mentorship course, but then I realized that, I'm only one person and I don't know everything. So I better, outsource and get some other people in to help fill the gaps in my knowledge as well as share their knowledge with others. And then we started running conferences. So we had 3DMJ Down Under initially.
Yep.
I think that was 2016, and then we had, as we were discussing before we came on air, the 2017, I believe it was, UEBC,
Mm.
Ultimate Evidence Based Conference, where the education component of JPS really took off from there. And fast forward, I think 8 or so years from that point, and here we are today, planning and getting ready for the Ultimate Physique Conference. Later this year, which should be good.
It will be good. Absolutely. So, just give me an insight into the logistics of pulling, particularly for that first UEBC, because I think I spoke to you that the night of the third day when we were all at the bar, sort of relaxing, and just the logistics of how it all came together. Because you had people coming from all over the place, like different countries and different locations, and just to try and bring that all together over 3 days, there must have been a lot of work behind the scenes.
There was a lot of work behind the scenes, but fortunately, I have a team around me who are very competent when it comes to the events management side of things.
Okay.
So I was initially warned against running a conference like this. I had Brett Contreras. We had a phone call. yeah, in the early days of planning
Mm.
the UAB, he told me, Jacob, don't do it. You're not going to make any money. Had similar call with Alan Aragon, and I'm a pretty stubborn person, and the type of person who, if you tell me not to do something, I'm probably going to do it to prove you wrong. Um, and I did prove them wrong, and they gave me my flowers afterwards, which was nice. Um, but yeah, mate, we had to do a lot of organizing and planning, especially to get. I think there was eight or so presenters from
It was.
all different parts of the world. Coordinating the flights and accommodation. Picking people up from the airport, making sure that everything ran smoothly at the event, catering. Ticket sales, reimbursing. The presenters for their time. There's a lot that goes into it. It is a huge risk, and it's financially a very expensive endeavor.
Yep.
But certainly worth it when we hear the glowing reports that people such as yourself have to come back to us years and years later and tell us that changed the course of their career.
Yeah.
That makes it all the worthwhile. So lot goes into it, yes, but certainly worth it.
Unreal, unreal. So there's been a gap, obviously. You had a few of those, I think, 3 or 4 years in a row, and then obviously we had the COVID period. So what was the catalyst for bringing something similar back in terms of this physique conference that's happening later this year?
Yeah, so well, we just wanted to, I guess, narrow our focus because the evidence-based conference is a very broad
Mm.
and general, I guess, fitness conference where
Yep.
we have presenters on a variety of topics, and that's great for a variety of reasons. But we wanted something a little bit more specific this time. We wanted to really direct our focus and energy towards the physique side of things and the competitive physique sports domain. So seeing the growing interest in that area, as well as obviously it being a huge part of our own, coaching,
Mm.
demographic. We really wanted to tap into that market and make sure that we're providing, the best education to coaches and upcoming coaches, because there is still a lot of misinformation out there, even though there's much better quality information out there.
Yep.
It can still be difficult to know who to go to. So we thought that we would help people sift through the bullshit a little bit,
Mm.
bring some of the best minds, in the sport down to Melbourne, and just raise the quality of coaching down here.
So how did you go about doing that in terms of selection? Because you've got like a varying degree of people. You've got obviously Stuart O'Brien from NBA, Leah Marie from WNBF, but then you've got the likes of Brendan Kempter coming in. You've got Richard Collins from Perth. Like, so they're very different in terms of their approaches and where they come from in terms of their standing in the industry. So what was the decision making behind that?
Well, generally we look first to who we align with the most in terms of overall philosophy and I guess approach,
Mm,
because we have our own biases, no doubt. We want people who are going to align with our own you know thought processes around how physique sports should be coached. So
cool.
we usually start there, but we also want people who are qualified and experienced, and being qualified to coach physique competitors doesn't always mean that you're doing things the most evidence-based way. It can also mean by doing things in a way that gets you consistent, reliable results over time. Because physique sports usually are one of many sports really that don't necessarily have all the answers with the science,
Yeah.
right? A lot of it is based on experience, intuition, and just our own anecdote and observations. So, to be good in the physique game, is usually just putting runs on the board and having the success with your athletes consistently over time. So, if a coach has done that or somebody has demonstrated that they have those abilities, then we're certainly interested in hearing what they have to say. And we also want diversity. We don't want, the to create an echo chamber where we have the same people regurgitating the same
Yeah.
message, and it's just this big circle jerk of individuals just spouting the same information as the next presenter.
Yeah.
We want to have that diversification in the content, which makes it not only interesting but also gives a different perspective on how things could or should be done.
Yeah, unreal. Unreal. So obviously you've released some of the topics the guys are going to speak about. So that was there a a discussion in regards to, as you said, you don't want, regurgitation of information. So was there a back and forth in terms of each topic selection that each person was going to present on?
Well, part of the selection process is usually have in mind somebody who, or sorry, a topic that someone's going to present on. Like we have a rough idea as to, cool, this person's most likely going to do training related content, or this person's most likely going to do the nutrition side of things, or posing, or whatever it might be.
Yep.
But then from there, it's usually just a discussion. My brother Sam manages most of this stuff, so it'll be a discussion back and forth, about what they want to present on. Because obviously, if they don't want to present on a topic, then there's no point us having the conversation any further. So usually, what they want to present on, they'll put forward a few topics that they're interested in and want to present on, and we'll sort of go back and say, "Cool, we haven't got anything on this. Is that cool if you present on XYZ topic?" And
Yep.
they'll come back and say either yes or no, and we go from there.
Unreal. So do you feel you've covered pretty much, based on the presenters and their topics, covered everything that would be expected in terms of physique competition?
We've got a lot.
Yeah.
We've got Richard presenting on what sets the best bodybuilders apart. We've got Martin presenting on the perfect post comp plan. We've got Bella presenting on post comp hormonal health. We've got mastering the art of posing. We've got the off season. We've got Brandon talking about from amateur to pro, navigating physique sports, and we've got Tabby presenting on posing, presence, and the prerequisites for being stage ready. And we've got Eric Helms presenting on exercise selection and execution. So we've got a lot of
Yeah.
content there. And we've also got, the likes of Stu from the NBA coming down, to talk about, the federation's perspective on physique sports and, what's involved there. So it's a very, I don't really like this word generally, but a very holistic,
Hmm.
array of content that participants will be afforded.
Yeah, unreal. Outstanding, mate. So over 2 days, is that correct?
2 days,
Two
yep, in
days.
August.
Yep.
So
Fantastic.
coming up fast.
It
Yep.
will be. It will be. So both days, just as a breakdown, because I remember again, I'll reference the UEBC. There was two, um, you know, um, I guess presenting days, and then one a practical day where we actually got to do some stuff in
Yep.
one of your gyms. So is there an element of that, or is it purely just presenting the 2 days?
Yeah, so we've got day one at the Moonee Valley Clock Tower. So that's
Gotcha.
going to have all your keynote presentations from some of the presenters I mentioned before,
Mhm.
where we look at the science, the art, and the strategy behind developing a physique and then presenting it on stage. And then day two is a very much an exclusive hands-on day at our facility here in Airport West,
Yep.
where participants will be a little bit more hands-on with the presenters, training with them, as well as some special guests such as Stu sharing their thoughts and thoughts and visions for the future of physique sports and where things are headed. So we do have that combination of the educational side of things, very theoretical. Take your notes on the day one, and then on the day two, it'll be very much practical, hands-on Q&A type feel.
Unreal, unreal. What's the level of interest been like when you first dropped the marketing on it?
Yeah, pretty phenomenal to be honest in
Yeah.
terms of interest and people signing up. It's been next level, so very much looking forward to selling this one out and having plenty of old faces and new faces come down, because I think there haven't been too many seminars like this here in Australia,
Nice.
not that I can think of anyway. So
Mm.
yeah, hopefully the first of many more to come.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Are you going to wait and see how this one plays out in terms of sort of the back end before you decide to run another one, or is that already something that you're pretty much committed to?
We always wait to see how the first one sort of pans out.
Yep.
But look, at this stage, most likely we'll run another one next year. We do love bringing education to people
Mm.
in Melbourne,
Yep.
and obviously having people from around Australia and sometimes around the world. We've had plenty of international, uh, you know, coaches come down to learn from our seminars and things like that. So always looking to do more. So I'm sure we'll have another one lined up. But whether it's a Ultimate Physique conference.
Mm.
That will depend on obviously how we go in August.
Yeah, exciting, mate. That's unreal. No, that's really cool. It's good to see that you are leading the way in that space. Because, like you said, it's not something common that is run. Like there might be the odd seminar or workshop as a one-off with maybe one presenter, but to have multiple minds come together and provide so much varying information, particularly from an evidence-based background, is really cool. And I'm sure you'll have plenty of success, not only this one, but for more to come. So how do people book? Give it a quick plug in terms of tickets, because at the moment early birds are still available. Is that right?
Early bird's still available, won't be available for much longer. If you want to come down and get a ticket, simply go to our website, or you can even Google the Ultimate Physique Conference, and that'll come up, be one of the first searches that comes up. You can grab a ticket. I think they're $175 at the moment, which is pretty bloody cheap for
Yes.
for
Good
you
price.
know the level of education that you'll be provided over that weekend.
Yep.
And yeah, if you have any questions, you can always feel free to contact me, and I'm easy to find on Instagram.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
sure Paul will put the appropriate links in
I
the
will.
bio.
Absolutely, I will. I will. And just as a side plug, mate, because JPS Education has a heap of stuff. Like I've done your physique course before, and you've got so much opportunity to learn just in that portal. So how do people find that, and obviously go through the various educational opportunities there?
Yeah, so if you go to our Instagram page, JPS_education, and follow the link there, we've got a heap of stuff on our education portal. We've got a monthly subscription where we have lectures and other resources that go out every month to keep you up to date with the latest in the science of fitness. We've got our mentorship course, which is for coaches looking to really take their education of nutrition, training, psychology, behavior change, all those, core elements of coaching and getting results for your clients to the next level, then that course is for you. We've got physique courses, we've got powerlifting courses, we've got pregnancy courses. We do have quite an extensive array of material available for people who are willing to learn and invest in their education. So if you head to our website, have a look around, there's plenty there.
Outstanding, mate. Outstanding. Well, mate, I will keep it short today because I know you are a very busy
No
man.
problem.
You've obviously got this conference
Please.
to cross the T's and dot the I's so there's probably still plenty to put into it before it comes to fruition. But to finish, and I must admit, I don't know why I haven't had you on before. I've had this podcast running for years now, and I should have brought you on earlier. As a personality question, who would you have over
Yes.
for dinner? Who would you like to have a good conversation and a good meal with? And it could be a few people, and it could be anyone, alive, dead, fiction, non-fiction. This obviously sort of gives us an indication into the real Jacob.
Who would I like to have over for dinner?
Yeah,
That is a good question. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the American comedian Tim Dillon.
I've heard the name.
He's hilarious.
Yeah,
He's very funny, very dry, very intelligent man, great political commentator. I, yes, have been listening to a lot of his podcasts at the moment, and he just cracks me up. And I think some of his takes on, the global issues that we currently face and the way that he can find the humor in them, I think is, yeah, pretty phenomenal. So I'd definitely have him over for dinner,
yeah. Wow.
have a meal.
Do you
Yeah.
find, just as a side note on that, do you find is that a breakaway for you in terms of just shifting your mind onto something completely different than work? Is that
Yeah,
does that describe?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep. I think it's very important to have an outlet. I've
yeah,
got my physical outlets. I've got basketball, tennis, and various other bits and pieces that sort of take me out of the gym and give me a little bit of, psychological relief from, I guess, the wear and tear of, running your own business and things like that.
yep,
But yeah, also, I think whether it's reading a book, listening to podcasts, like I listen to Tim's podcast, um, and other various things, I think is a fantastic way to just shift gears, take a break for a little bit, and allows you to recalibrate the system before you get back in and do the work.
yeah. Outstanding. Oh, that's good advice, mate. All right, mate. Well, I'll let you go because again, I know you're busy. The dates of the physique conference, just quickly.
Ah, shit, you're testing me now. August 15th and 16th, I believe it is. I can't
I'll
even.
put them in the notes anyway, just to confirm.
I believe it's 15th, 16th. I'll have to double check.
No, that's all good.
There's a
I'll
lot
put them
going
in
on
the
at the
notes.
moment.
There is a lot
Easy, mate.
going on. Unreal, mate. Well, Jacob, thank you very much for your time. And obviously, I'll put all the information on the show notes for the physique conference, but also for JPS Education. Very good resource. As
Awesome.
I said, I've done it myself. So, yeah, it's fantastic. But, mate, we appreciate it. And, yeah,
Good
hopefully
call.
I'll be down in Melbourne soon to catch up.
Yes, mate. We'll have to get you down soon.
Yeah, absolutely.